Sign right there and you erase the last name of the man who taught you everything you know. You are 52 years old, net worth $512 million, 9 dealerships across 3 states, and a signature away from buying out the one man who gave you your first job in this business 29 years ago. Your lawyer taps the page. He already agreed to the number, she says. He is just waiting for you to look him in the eye when you do it. This is level 7. But to understand how you got here, you have to go back. Back to a Tuesday morning, 17 years old, sweeping cigarette butts off a parking lot for $9 an hour. There are 7 levels in this empire, from lot boy to owner, and by the time anyone reaches the top, 92% of the people who started beside them are gone. Fired, burned out, or just gone quiet somewhere in the middle. This is the price of every level. 17 years old, $9 an hour. Your job title officially is lot attendant, but everyone just calls you lot boy, and you spend 8 hours a day moving $40,000 cars 6 feet to the left, so the showroom looks fuller than it actually is. Nobody explains the real rule of this job to you on day one. You learn it the hard way, at 6:15 in the morning, when the general manager, a heavy-set man named Ray, who has been in the car business since Nixon was president, catches you leaning on a fender. You lean on the merchandise, Ray says. You are leaning on somebody's paycheck, yours first. You make about $400 a week if you are lucky with overtime. You still live in your parents' house. Your girlfriend at the time asks why you smell like a car wash every single day, and you do not have a good answer, because the honest one is, because I am nobody here, and nobody starts clean. There are 11 other lot boys in this store, and only one of them gets noticed enough to move up this year. You do not know yet whether you will be that one. The structural problem at level 1 is invisible to almost everyone who has never worked it. There is no path up unless somebody with a title decides you exist. You could wash cars for 6 years and die a lot boy. The only currency you have is being seen. 21 years old. Base salary, $22,000 a year, plus commission that might double it if you are good, might not if you are not. This is the level where the dealership stops being a place you work and starts being a place that owns your calendar. You get promoted off the lot because Ray finally notices you can talk to people without sounding desperate, and your first month on the floor, you make exactly 1 sale. 1. $26,000 commission on a used sedan, split with the closer who helped you, which means you take home $410 for 11 days of 80-hour weeks. Your manager at this level, a woman named Denise who has sold cars for 15 years and has the eyes of someone who stopped being surprised a decade ago, pulls you into the break room after a customer walks without buying. You are not selling a car, she tells you. You are selling the version of themselves they wish they were. Rich enough, smart enough, decisive enough to buy right now. You fail at that, you fail at everything. The personal cost here is time, all of it, every weekend, every holiday, every family dinner you miss because Saturday is the biggest sales day of the month, and if you are not on the floor, someone else closes your walk-in. You tell yourself it is temporary. It is not temporary. It is the floor you will stand on for years. 25 years old. This year, you clear $145,000, more than your father ever made in a single year of his life. And you tell him that at Thanksgiving expecting pride, and instead you get silence, because he spent 30 years at a job that gave him a pension, and you have a job that could end the day your numbers slip. At this level, you are good, genuinely good. You have learned the walk around, the 4 square, the objection scripts, the way to make a monthly payment sound smaller than it is by stretching the term 2 extra years without saying so directly. You have also learned to lie a little, professionally, the kind of lying that has a name in this industry, presenting information favorably. A customer named Mr. Alvarez, 61 years old, buying his wife a car for her birthday, asks you point blank, "Is this the best you can do?" And you know it is not. You know there is $4,000 of room in that deal, and you say, "This is about as good as it gets on this particular unit." because your manager is standing behind the glass watching your board, and your board determines whether you eat well this month or eat ramen for 2 weeks. The structural problem here is that the ceiling on commission is real. There is only so much metal on a lot, only so many hours in a day, and you start to understand that the actual money in this business is not made moving cars, it is made managing the people who move them. Which means the next level is not a promotion. It is a completely different skill you do not have yet. 30 years old, $310,000 this year, made almost entirely in a small, windowless office where you sell warranties, gap insurance, and paint protection packages to people who just spent the last 2 hours negotiating a car price and have no energy left to negotiate yours. This is, dollar for dollar, the most profitable seat in the entire building, and almost nobody outside the industry knows it exists. You make more per deal here than the salesperson who spent all day building the relationship, because the finance office is where the dealership actually turns a profit. The car is practically sold at cost. The money is in what you sell after. Your director, a sharp, quiet man named Tom who drives a car 3 years old despite selling luxury for a living, tells you the truth of the job in your first week. The car business does not run on cars, he says. It runs on the 11 minutes you get alone with someone who just made the biggest financial decision of their year, while they are still tired and still saying yes to things. A young couple sits across from you, first car together, and you watch them sign for an extended warranty they do not need, at a price they will regret when they read the fine print in the parking lot. Nobody forced them. You just did not stop them. The personal cost here is not your time anymore. It is something quieter. You start to feel a small distance growing between the person you are at home and the person you are in that office, and you stop mentioning your job in detail to people you actually respect. 37 years old, $680,000 a year, base plus a percentage of every single dollar the sales department makes, on every deal, every day, forever, as long as the numbers hold. This is where you stop selling anything and start being the reason other people sell things. You run the desk. You approve every deal before it reaches the customer. You decide who gets the good leads and who gets the walk-ins who never buy. You are, for the first time in your life, the person 25-year-old you used to be terrified of. The owner of the dealership, a man you rarely see except at month-end, calls you into his office on the 29th because the store is 11 cars short of hitting a manufacturer bonus worth $200,000. Find 11 cars in 48 hours, he says, not asking. I do not care how. You go back to the floor and you push your own people harder than anyone ever pushed you, because now the math is not about your commission, it is about a bonus that funds 3 months of your own salary if the store hits it. You watch a 23-year-old salesman, someone who reminds you exactly of yourself at that age, break down quietly in the parking lot after his 4th deal falls through in one day, and you do not comfort him. You tell him to get back inside because you have learned the second real rule of this business. The ceiling does not disappear when you rise past it. It just becomes something you enforce on somebody else. If you have made it this far, you already know this channel is not going anywhere, so go ahead and subscribe before the next level, because it gets heavier from here. 45 years old, $2.1 million a year across salary, bonus, and a small ownership stake the group finally gave you after 2 decades of hitting every number they ever asked for. You run the entire rooftop now. Sales, service, parts, finance, all of it. 140 employees whose mortgages depend on decisions you make in a Tuesday morning meeting. You have an office with a door that closes, a view of the lot from above, and a level of exhaustion nobody prepared you for, because at this level the job never actually stops. Your phone buzzes at 11 at night because a technician quit mid-shift. It buzzes at 6 in the morning because a customer posted a 1-star review that could cost you a manufacturer certification worth $400,000 a year. Your doctor has told you twice now, at your last 2 physicals, that your blood pressure looks like a man 15 years older than you. Your wife, at a level you barely notice slipping away, says something one night that you do not have an answer for. You have built something incredible, she says. I just do not know if you are actually in the house when you are home. You married her back when you were level 2, back when $400 a week felt like a fortune, and somewhere in the climb you stopped being able to explain to her what your days are actually made of. Because the truth is, they are made of other people's problems, hour after hour, and there is nothing left of you by the time you walk through your own front door. The regional director above you, a woman who oversees 14 stores across the group, calls with a number. The group wants to expand into a 4th state, and they want you to run point on acquiring 3 more dealerships, which means, structurally, that even at $2 million a year running your own building, there is still a ceiling, and it has a name, and it belongs to somebody wearing a much nicer watch than yours. 52 years old, net worth, $512 million, 9 dealerships, 3 states, and the deal on the table right now is buying out Ray, the same man who taught 17-year-old you the actual rule of leaning on the merchandise 35 years ago, because Ray's single dealership is finally struggling against the group's buying power, and the kindest thing you can do, the thing your board is calling smart consolidation, is take it from him. You built an empire nobody outside this industry understands the size of. Luxury dealership groups at this scale move more raw revenue in a year than most publicly traded companies, and almost none of it makes headlines, because cars do not have the glamour of tech or the mystery of finance. They are just steel and leather and debt. Dealership after dealership, each one a machine built to extract maximum value from the 11 minutes of someone's life you learned about back at level 4. Ray sits across from you now, 71 years old. Hands that still smell faintly of engine grease even after decades behind a desk. "You were the best lot boy I ever had," he says. Quiet, not bitter, just tired. "Did not think you would be the one signing this." You think about telling him it is not personal. You do not, because at this level you have finally learned the deepest truth of the entire business. It was never about cars, not once, not at any level. It was about who controls the 11 minutes, who controls the 80-hour weeks, who controls the 11 cars in 48 hours. And the person at the very top does not escape that system. They just become the one enforcing it on everyone below, the exact same thing you watched your own general sales manager do to a 23-year-old kid 15 years ago in a parking lot. The $512 million is real. So is the fact that you have not had an actual day off in 6 years, that your kids call your assistant to find out your schedule, that the marriage from level 6 ended quietly 2 years ago in a settlement your own finance team structured, professionally, the same way you once structured warranty packages for strangers. You got everything the 17-year-old sweeping that parking lot could have dreamed of. And somewhere between level 2 and level 7, you stopped being able to tell anyone, including yourself, what it actually cost to get it. You sign the page. Ray shakes your hand because that is what 35 years in this business trains you to do, even when it is the worst day of somebody's life. Somewhere in your empire right now, there is a 17-year-old kid sweeping a parking lot for a wage that barely covers gas money, believing, the way you once believed, that the top of this thing is freedom. It is not freedom. It is just a bigger office, watching the same 11 minutes happen to more people at a scale you used to think was impossible. Next episode, we are going somewhere with even less oversight and even more hidden cost. Your life as every level of a private wealth management empire, from junior analyst to the man managing money for people richer than governments. Tell me in the comments which level in this video hit closest to where you actually are right now. Lot boy, or already losing something at the top.